Hey everybody, Ron here. I noticed that my video about sci-fi games that were on my shelf was pretty popular, relatively speaking. And so I decided that I was going to do another video, this time about superhero games. If you didn't know, superhero games are really special to me because comics were a formative part of my childhood. They were the stepping stone for me wanting to get into role-playing games in the first place. Even though my first role-playing game was D&D, I did the role-playing thing before by pretending to be Marvel superheroes and kind of actually being the lead storyteller with a bunch of kids in my neighborhood. I talked about that in a previous video, and the one about my RPG origin story. So I was looking at the books on my shelf, and I have 4 books that I would consider superhero role playing games. Even though, of course, I own more than that because I have PDFs, but there's only so much space in the house. I'm just only going to talk about the games that I have a physical copy of as of this day, September 6, 2019, because I have more on the way, and we'll go from there. So, the first game I want to talk about is Icons. This is the assembled edition. I actually also have the original edition. I had the original edition since it came out in 2010. It's by Steve Kinson. It is a marriage of the Marvel superheroes role-playing game for the 80s and Fate. And so those are 2 tastes that I really love, and they go great together. I've run a lot of this game. I just think it's a fantastic game. Really love this game. Go check it out. I can say a bit more about it, but I want to keep this video relatively short. But yeah, it's a marriage of Marvel superheroes, classic Marvel superheroes, Face Rip and Fate. So that's Icons. So my next game I want to talk about is the Atomic Robo role-playing game. The Atomic Robo role-playing game is not advertised as a superhero role-playing game, but this is a Fate core game which I played. I ran a one-shot or 2 of this, and I played in a campaign that was a hack of this. Basically think Guardians of the Galaxy, a super-powered space opera game, and it is really good for this. Atomic Robo is a Fate system game. It is tailored for pick up and play. Just starting with a character concept, a high concept, and another aspect, and you just go. You fill in your skills and your stunts as you go. It's a pretty neat and flexible game. I highly recommend it. That is the Atomic Robo role-playing game by Evil Hat. Now, I was talking about Marvel before, and this is the Marvel Heroic role-playing game. It was designed primarily by Cam Banks, produced by Marvel White Productions. Unfortunately, this game is no longer in print. It is a Cortex Plus game. And if you don't know what that is a game that, if you've heard of the Smallville role-playing game, if you've heard of the Firefly role-playing game, those are all Cortex Systems games. Leverage, where you have a dice pool, where you have these different categories, and each category you get a die from each category, you roll, and the DM has a doom pool or whatever. The players have plot points which they can use to manipulate totals or add effect dice and everything like that. It's a neat little system. I'm glad that Cam bought the Cortex license from Marvel White Productions and is working on Cortex Prime. Looking forward to playing that. But this is a neat game. It is, I would have to say, this is the best licensed Marvel game that I've played. Even above Face Rip, that might be blasphemy to some, but that's what I believe. The only negative about this is that there was really no character creation system. I mean, there was technically one, but it wasn't good. When I played Marvel superheroes, more often than not, I actually wanted to play the superheroes. Now, I've run this game. I've played this game. It's a lot of fun. And this is the Marvel Heroic role-playing game. Maybe you can find it out there somewhere in a physical copy. And it's pretty cool. Finally, this is the Mutants and Mastermind 3rd edition Basic Heroes Handbook. I have the Deluxe Heroes Handbook in PDF. I also have the DC Heroes book in PDF. But this is the only physical copy of a 3rd edition product that I have. I really love Mutants and Masterminds. Third edition is really smooth. The only challenge with that was that character creation. It effects based, so you really, that can be overwhelming. I know that it was for me. What I like to do is take a character, take a pre-gen archetype, and tweak it and flavor it to my taste, because I guess I'm not that creative when it comes to making characters, but I played this a couple of times. It's cool. I've run a couple of one shots on it. I really enjoy the system. Of course, I played a lot more of second edition and first edition Mutants and Masterminds. This is just a great game. It's of these 4 games that I've shown that I have physical copies of, this is the most complex of them, I believe, and but it's really cool. It's really flexible, and you can make just about anything in it. Hey, I was talking about physical games that I had in the superhero genre, and I said I had 4, but that was a lie. I actually have 6, because there are 2 games that were not in my office that were on one of my other shelves, and I want to talk about those real quick. First of all, I want to talk about Mutants and Mastermind 2nd Edition, and I mentioned that I played Mutants and Masterminds since the beginning. 1st edition, revised 1st, 2nd, and then 3rd edition. This is the 2nd edition Pocket Player's Handbook, and so I personally love 3rd edition, but for all of its warts, at least that's what people say, I think I prefer 2nd edition a little bit better because I actually have powers listed in here instead of just kind of a book of effects. But that's why I bought the Basic Heroes Handbook, because the Basic Heroes Handbook was pretty good and helps me wrap my head around making a character a little bit more. Maybe I'm just a little dense. Who knows? But anyway, just want to talk about this one. This is the 2nd edition of Mutants and Masterminds. It's a Pocket Player's Handbook. And the other game, this is the one I was really kicking myself for. I knew I had this game. This is Venture City. This is a Fate Core superhero setting. It is a superhero cyberpunk setting, and it is really cool. I have run a hack of this. I have played using this system, and it is a whole bunch of fun. Of course, Fate Core is my favorite base system to play with. At least I keep saying that. I haven't played a bunch of Fate lately, but Venture City is pretty cool. I really like that cover, by the way. It's a game that you should check out. Of course, you need the Fate Core rule book to use this. I think I'm actually going to do a video about book games on my shelf that don't have a setting by default, although I think that list is going to be pretty short, but I'll still talk about it anyway. This is Venture City. Take a trip to Venture City, a world of superpowers, villainous corporations, and ruthless gangs set in the near future where the powers are for sale. Doesn't that sound pretty cool? Anyway, back to my video. So, those are the physical superhero games that I have. I'm a sucker for superhero games. I backed the Sentinel Comics role-playing games. I backed Spectacular, done by Rodney Thompson, and I've backed Prowlers and Paragons Ultimate Edition by Lynn Pimentel and Sean Patrick Fannin. I'll be getting those by the end of the year, or at least 2 of those by the end of the year. So I have even more physical superhero games. But those are the games that I have on my shelf for now. I don't know if I'll talk about fantasy because, well, I do have fantasy games on my shelf. Fantasy's it's the most popular genre in role-playing games. I don't know if I have anything to add to that. And I've rambled on enough for this. I hope you folks have a great night. And until next time, see you later.